heck is this? Different places. Here. And there's the sun. Hi, I'm the creator, director of Dazzle U. This is an extended version or a director's cut. I have a bonus of my video. It's called COVID Day Knocks and Finds. And this is the last minute video that I took. I had filmed a video around a pond. All the sounds and everything you heard was all in that video. It's called COVID Day. It's all in words. And this footage I had captured is 1 minute after I'd cut my shin, and I continued to film. And what I did is I did an old trick by listening to an old footage of a guy that looked away and walked up to a stump and held a camera around his waist and took a picture and caught like 4 or 5 of them. So when I filmed this, I did the same trick as my last attempt, and I held the camera low and I was filming and I was looking away to the right, and as you can see, the kind of angle is kind of different. The first thing I want you all to notice is the stick on the right. I am referring to this stick right here. It is about 4 to 5 feet tall. It is broken right in front of it. It is often called a marker. I also like to point out these 2 sticks in the front, how they're kind of like a road, and that it seems like a trail that is beaten down right there in front of it. Also, the palmettos are broken down in the front, and as you can see, and further back there's a triangle. It is beaten down, and so forth and so forth, and in there. Now, all the sounds you heard, the woo, I was making owl calls, which I often do in my video COVID Day, and my method is to sit down for about half an hour, and eventually during that video I heard this weird owl call, and then the plane flew overhead and I kind of lost track, but you can hear that in the video, and you can hear the echoing from the words. But there's a couple other things. The stick seems to do this, and you can hear the crunching of oak stick, which I described, which can only be sound. You can hear this weird, like nocturnal, like sound that can only be heard and you can hear all that. But in this video, I am referring to this picture here, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and to show y'all the second frames, and right before the second that came in, as you can see in this frame, there is no nothing in the middle. Is if you can focus your eyes on the middle part, there's nothing in the middle. So if I'm gonna go ahead and go over to my pictures here and bring this up, I'm sure you see this, but let's go ahead and go to the second one here, and you can see it is in the middle, and then you go to this one, and then it disappears. So let's go ahead and go back and forth here. This is in the 43rd, 44th, and 45th second frame. Nothing. Something there in the middle. You see that little thing there? And again, I'm going to go into here, and we're going to go ahead and do a crop and zoom. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust here. And we're going to crop in on this guy. We're going to see what we can find out. And if I do so, I don't know if you can see this, but look, it looks like it has an eye and it is a skull. Now my first idea is, this is really wicked that it has an eyeball in there on this crop and zoom. And it could be some ghostly fixture, and I can see where the paranormal comes into doing your videographs. I'm looking for Bigfoots in the background. But the good news is I investigated this, and I thought it was a snake or something at first, or something. But what it is, it's the bark of the base of the oak trees and the actual acid from these palmettos makes weird things. But even though it almost looks like a ghost picks up, and it looks like saying, hey, look at me, guys, I'm caught in this world. He's looking over there and he's looking at me, but my camera's down here at my waist. And he pops up and he pops back like nothing has happened. And it looks really strange because the whole thing looks like a skull to me. You can almost see his nose, and you can see the eyeball here, only close up, super close up. I mean, that is an eyeball. But the good news is, like I said, something covers that up. So if I were to go back into my regular edits here, or regular footage, you can see here that it disappears. Focus on this part right here into the middle, right next to the stick. And here is the figure. And then we go back into the 1 second later, and the 1 second before is both the same. And it appears that something, now what I'm referring to is this dark kind of line right here seems to take a change of shape, and it is also a little bit lower right down in here, and it seems to also take a shape in all three figures as something had moved in front of it. Now most Bigfoot is captures are within half a second or within that 1 second, so it appears as though something may have moved in front of it, something black. But you know, I investigated Bigfoots. My main question with this road in the front, this broken stick, maybe it signifies, the first one I found was right in the entrance, was about 5 feet tall. This one's about 4 feet tall. So maybe from the top of this figure to where it can reach signifies that something small is in here. You can look back here in this structure and you can see the A-frame, and there's something white down in here. We don't have many rocks. I would mostly believe that would be a bone or a mushroom. But as you can see, there is nothing in the figure, and then there's something in the figure in 1 second, 1 second before, and 1 second after. This is that 1 minute bonus footage from Cov-Id Day. As the director and creator, you are going to hear a howl, a hoot. In the bonus footage, I made several calls during half an hour, and recorded some and made all kinds of noise for about a half an hour. It could be a response, it could just be an owl in the woods. The breaking, well, yes, could be some kids playing down there, but something with hands had to be slowly crack and then break that oak tree and snap it. And it could have been digging animals out of an oak tree. But just the question I have though is if this is a ghost or if this is not a ghost. And let's just go ahead and crop it again and just look at how ghostly it looks. Are we blaming Bigfoot for the wrong things, or there's another paranormal? I can see where people can see the paranormal in things, but is this why is this happening right when I find the X's, right when I find the knocks? This is a guy's almost face, and then it like it's covered up with like something within a half second. So you have to ask her all these questions of these new other people. There are times which I believe that people do blame Bigfoots for everything just because they're investigating them. But is it real or is it paranormal? Let's watch the rest of the footage. Huge X at the beginning. It's starting to scare me because I sat right over here. And look at this again, the swamp. The zones are in here. It's been windy. It's been cold. Here could be cold, but oh, that's there before. They're always here could be cold, but oh, that's cross it. What they say? There's another X. It's underneath it, man. That's crazy. With the bend. Look at this bend. Okay, look at that. A tree. Oh, look at that super. Oh, there's the end of the super X on the other side of the pond. I'll let you know, like a perfect little monkey trail. Look at this little baby X's. I've been seeing them. And look at there's a big lean. This is gonna get fucking scary. Look at that. Right in front of me. Switched in there. Oh shit. Shit. Oh man. Sad. One. The fucking trap. Look at this. Fuck with these vines. And all the way to my way back out. Another huge X. And there's that pond. I made it away. Straight at my shin. Going through. It's surrounded by these That's scary. Surrounded like a freaking stuff. Fresh. That's weird. Hexes. Different places. Here. And there's the sun. But different time. Whatever.